Did you know that Tel Aviv, one of the most modern and vibrant cities in the Middle East, woke up to its third wave of missile strikes in just 72 hours, shaking not just buildings, but also Israel's confidence in its air defense systems? In what many analysts are calling the most sustained and aggressive Iranian military retaliation in over a decade, Iran launched its third follow-up attack early this morning, hitting multiple high-valued targets near Tel Aviv and causing widespread panic among residents. With tensions in the region reaching a boiling point and the international community on high alert, the situation is rapidly spiraling out of control. Today's attack marks a significant escalation in the already volatile standoff between Iran and Israel, a confrontation that began earlier this month when Israel carried out a targeted airstrike on an Iranian military facility in Damascus, Syria, reportedly killing two high-ranking members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. That strike was seen by Tehran as a direct provocation and a violation of regional sovereignty. Within hours, Iran vowed revenge, and over the last 3 days, they've made good on that promise, launching 3 successive missile attacks with increasing range, accuracy, and damage. This morning's barrage was the most intense yet. According to Israel Defense Forces (IDF) statements, over 150 short and medium-range missiles were fired from Iranian territory and proxy militia bases in southern Lebanon and western Iraq. While Israel's Iron Dome and David's Sling defense systems intercepted a significant number of them, a handful slipped through the cracks, causing devastating impact. The city of Holon, just south of Tel Aviv, reported multiple casualties and extensive infrastructure damage, including a direct hit to an electrical substation that left nearly 60,000 people without power for several hours. The Israeli government, led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, convened an emergency war cabinet meeting just moments after the first explosions were heard. In a televised address, Netanyahu stated, "We are under attack, and we will respond with unrelenting force. Iran has crossed every red line. This is no longer tit for tat. This is war." Israeli military forces have since begun mobilizing along the northern border with Lebanon and near the Golan Heights, indicating a possible large-scale retaliation may be underway. Meanwhile, in Tehran, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi praised the attacks, calling them a just and measured response to Zionist aggression. The Iranian state media, Press TV, aired celebratory footage of missiles being launched, alongside patriotic music and commentary warning of further strikes if Israel retaliates. Raisi also confirmed that this morning's attack was part of Operation Martyr's Storm, a campaign named in honor of the IRGC commanders killed in the earlier Israeli strike. What makes this third strike particularly alarming is its coordination and precision. Intelligence experts are now saying that Iran has upgraded its missile guidance systems, possibly with help from Russia or China, enabling more accurate targeting of Israeli military and civilian infrastructure. This morning's attacks hit not just Tel Aviv's outskirts but also a munitions depot in Ashdod and an airbase in Palmyra. The targeting of strategic assets suggests a shift in Iran's military posture, from symbolic retaliation to actual strategic degradation of Israel's defensive capabilities. The civilian toll is rising. Hospitals in Tel Aviv and surrounding areas have reported over 120 injuries so far, with at least 15 in critical condition. Among the wounded are several foreign nationals, including an American tourist and 2 British aid workers. The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem has issued a red alert, advising all U.S. citizens to shelter in place and avoid non-essential travel. The international reaction has been swift. President Kamala Harris issued a strong condemnation of the Iranian attack, reaffirming U.S. support for Israel's right to self-defense, and ordering the USS Gerald R. Ford strike group to reposition closer to the eastern Mediterranean. The United Nations Security Council is expected to hold an emergency session later today, but hopes for a diplomatic breakthrough remain slim. China has urged both sides to show restraint, while Russia blamed the escalation on what it termed Israel's irresponsible regional aggression. Meanwhile, European Union leaders are scrambling to formulate a coordinated response as fears mount that the conflict could spiral into a broader regional war involving Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and possibly even Syrian or Iraqi militias. On the streets of Tel Aviv, fear and uncertainty grip the population. Schools have been shut down, public transportation has been halted, and sirens blare through the city at irregular intervals. The once bustling Rothschild Boulevard, typically filled with office workers and tourists, now stands eerily empty. Residents have flocked to underground shelters and reinforced safe rooms, many of which haven't been used since the 2014 Gaza conflict. For Tel Avivians, the sound of explosions and the sight of smoke plumes on the horizon have become a haunting new normal. Yet, amid the chaos, stories of resilience and unity are emerging. Volunteers are distributing food and supplies in shelters. Blood banks are overflowing with donations. Doctors, nurses, and paramedics are working round the clock, refusing to go home. And across social media, messages of support are flooding in from Israelis around the world. Still, as more missiles rain down, questions are being raised about whether Israel's highly regarded multi-layered defense system is truly equipped to deal with a coordinated, multi-front war. Military analysts are now discussing the possibility that Iran's strategy is not just to retaliate but to overwhelm. With Hezbollah reportedly on high alert and rumors circulating about increased drone activity near the northern border, Israel may soon find itself fighting on multiple fronts. This has prompted urgent calls within the Knesset for a broader mobilization of reservists, and some security experts have warned that a full-scale regional war may already be underway, just without the official declaration. Meanwhile, the Iranian public has been whipped into a frenzy of nationalist fervor. In Tehran, crowds gathered in Azadi Square chanting anti-Israel and anti-US slogans. Iranian state media is portraying this as a historic moment of defiance, with commentators likening it to the 1979 revolution. But behind the nationalism lies a more strategic motive. Iran is likely using these attacks to bolster domestic support and distract from internal economic turmoil caused by years of sanctions, inflation, and public discontent. Back in Tel Aviv, the atmosphere remains tense. With two previous strikes already shaking the city, the third one has driven home the reality that this is no longer a distant conflict. It is now at Israel's very doorstep. Parents are afraid to send their children outside. Grocery stores are seeing panic buying. The air raid sirens are a chilling reminder that another strike could come at any moment. The psychological toll of this constant state of alert is mounting, and the question now is not if there will be a fourth attack, but when. As the sun sets on another nerve-wracking day in Tel Aviv, one thing is clear: the region is at a tipping point. Iran's third follow-up attack has shattered illusions of deterrence and opened the door to a far more dangerous chapter in Middle Eastern geopolitics. Whether the world watches passively or steps in to de-escalate, the consequences of inaction could be catastrophic. Will Tel Aviv face another night of explosions? Will diplomacy prevail, or are we heading toward a prolonged regional war? Stay tuned as we continue to monitor the situation hour by hour. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to 10 Globe Trips for more real-time updates and in-depth analysis on global conflict zones, geopolitical shifts, and the stories that mainstream media often overlooks.